This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by fans. When you need that air over there, moved over here. It's Wednesday, 2023. I'm Aaron, and this is my co-host, Chris.
Wait, I'm sorry. I laughed, and it cut you out, and I did this before when I laughed at the beginning, and I think you should say it's today, February, whatever. Again.
Okay, fair enough. You wrote that, by the way. It's another one that you wrote and laughed at, which makes me so happy every time.
I forget that I write the things and...
Gosh, that was so good. All right, here we go. It's Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. I'm Aaron, and this is my wonderful co-host, Chris.
Hello.
Hi,
here.
Chris. Yeah, thanks for being here. We'd like to welcome you back.
I'm rushing
to
in from
great
outside.
Day.
I'm here. Don't start without me.
Chris was outside hoeing his garden. He's trying to get all those weevils out. So thank you, Chris. We need those radishes for the season. Well, dear listeners, you know what time it is? I do. It's time for the lightning round of 3 random questions. And we went pretty fast yesterday. So today we're going to go a little bit slower. And in between each question, I'm going to give you a 5 count. You're not going to be able to hear it, but I'm going to hold my fingers up so Chris can see it. So Chris, he's agreed to be the experimental lightning round of 3 questions lab rat, and I'm going to ask him the 3 questions.
Yep, I just agreed.
All right, thank you. That's called being voluntold. All right, here we go. Turn up your radios and get ready to answer these questions, kiddos. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. All right, question 1. Have you ever been on a roller coaster?
Yes.
Awesome. Question 2. Have you ever lost a tooth?
Yes.
Great. Next question. Have you ever gotten lost in the store?
Which store? IKEA. Yes.
You got lost in there? Well, I hope Shannon found you. You're too old to be getting lost, buddy.
Ever. The words ever.
You know what? And shame on me. I said yesterday and the day before, there are no wrong answers. So you could have literally just said watermelon and it would have been the right answer.
Watermelon.
So well, that concludes today's game show lightning round of 3 random questions. We hope you had a great time with that new little game, and we got 2 more days of that. So prepare your hearts. Well, speaking of time, let's head over to the This Day in History vault, crack that baby open, and see what's in there. On this day in 1965, Canada, our friends to the north, shout out to our Canadian listeners, by the way. We love you. Yeah, Canada, you adopted your current national flag showing a maple leaf. This leaf symbolizes the country's forest, the middle white stripe, the Arctic snow, and the red stripes, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, because as we all know, oceans are red. And that's a little bit about Canada.
I didn't know the parts of the flag had meanings. That's fine. This now makes me think: do all flags have that kind of meaning? Because I know there are lots of flags that are just 3 colors.
Yeah,
and some that are, I think, just 2 colors.
I mean, if you look at like the Irish flag and the French flag, I mean, it's like 3 vertically striped lines.
I wonder if those
colors
mean something.
I don't know.
We should ask some person who might know.
Like
anybody out there? A flagologist.
Are you an expert in flags? Do you love flags? Or do you know someone who does? Send us your feedback or hit us up on Instagram. Well, let's go ahead and move on. This next segment is called the question of the day. And since we have new listeners joining us every day, I tend to say the same thing every single day. This part of our show is designed to encourage discussion with those around you. So we'll ask a question, we'll give you a quick break to answer, and if you need more time, hit the pause button. Come on back and we'll be here waiting for you. All right, today's question is, if you had to invent a flag for your family, what would it look like? Colors, animals, what? All right, we'll be right back with our discussion answers. All right, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that discussion question. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And if you want to draw it out and post it on our social media, you can hit us up on Instagram or Facebook and post what your flag might look like. All right, Chris, what would your flag look like?
So I'm going the flag route that has images, kind of like the flag of Mexico has a bird and things.
Yeah.
Unlike the fully symbolic, where it's just colors or just some shapes. So the image that I would think for my family, my first thought was 2 pillars of kind of like a stone structure house kind of thing. Like a shelter of some sort. I don't know why. That would be it. I kind of like, we are together in this place, in this thing. We're strong and we are enough with God, or like, I don't know, like we're enough. This is it. This is our family. We can figure this out. I don't know.
That is
talking that through.
That's a thoughtful answer. I would love to see that drawn out somewhere. That's really, really cool. I like that. I keep thinking of those pillars in the story of Samson, though. I just keep picturing a little tiny Samson in there pushing the pillars over.
Oh no!
Well, it's not an animated flag.
That's our child. No.
No.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You better not. Well, that was a really thoughtful answer. And the first thing I thought of was like a snake with some wings. So kind of like a dragon going through a hoop with some lightning bolts coming off of it.
What?
Yep.
For your family.
And to represent power, okay, because that's our last name. And yeah, the flag would be red or blue. Haven't decided. But the snake would be green. Lightning bolts would be yellow, shooting off of it. It would say power underneath it. And it would be a scratch and sniff flag that would smell like pizza. So that's my answer. Yep, there you go.
Do you think you could get Denise to sign off on that as
100% no.
To fly in front of your house?
100% no. She is already irritated that I want to get like a Texas with a chainsaw and a shotgun crisscrossed over it. I got as a chest tattoo. She's like,
What?
That is the worst. That's the worst tattoo idea of all time.
That is pretty rough.
I love it.
I mean,
well,
yep, art.
Yep, art indeed. Art indeed. It's like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. Well, we hope you enjoyed that discussion question and those discussion answers, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Chris, I don't know if you can tell, but my microphone is working so much better today.
Yeah. What was wrong with it?
I don't know. The cord wasn't I know this is weird to say this in the middle of the show, but the cord wasn't connecting.
Was there something broken or like in between, like blocking it?
Well, yeah. I actually ended up taking it out and looking in that, put a little light under there, and it's crazy. There was a dad joke in there. All right, here we go. Today's dad joke comes to you straight from some random dad, and it says, how does the moon cut his hair? He clips it.
Oh, man.
You're welcome, dads everywhere. Well, welcome back to another great day. I'm Aaron, and that's Chris over there sighing his heart out because of how bad these dad jokes are. We're both glad you're here, and thanks for sticking with us despite that segment. This next part of our show is called The Word of Wisdom. This is where we'll take a minute to go through a proverb or wise saying and then give you our take. So here we go. Why don't you take it away, Chris?
Today's word of wisdom comes to us from Proverbs 10:19. With lots of words comes wrongdoing, but the wise restrain their lips. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm going to repeat it kind of in a second. My first thought was, this is like the Spider-Man quote. With great power comes great responsibility. But it didn't really fit, so I was kind of mulling this over. Lots of words comes wrongdoing. And I went and looked at other translations of this. And here is some other versions. It says, if you talk a lot, you're sure to sin. If you are wise, you'll keep quiet.
Love
Another
that.
version says, you will say the wrong thing if you talk too much. So be sensible and watch what you say.
Mm,
It's so funny.
true wisdom.
As I'm talking a lot on a podcast, I am mindful of this. I do not want, personally, I know that I say a lot of words and some of them could be the wrong thing.
You know, what's interesting to think is that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the same thing too. I said, we're on a podcast. You know, Lord, please give us the grace to not be fools on this thing and help us to do good. But I think about like King Solomon wrote this, and the fact that a king is, you know, going to have to give edicts. And in our day and age, you know, State of the Union was last week. There's a lot of leaders who are really quick to talk and really quick to put their thoughts out there. And it's interesting to think of a leader taking the stance of, you know, you really don't need to say a whole lot. In fact, if you say more, it's most likely going to be to your detriment. I find that interesting.
That is interesting.
Well, and it's also led me to want to edit my flag because now I want to put, with great power comes great responsibility on my scratch and sniff flag. So I'm just going to throw that out there too. All righty. Well, that'll do it for today, Chris. Let's hit the music and let's go on and get. We'd like to thank you for listening. And if you're enjoying this podcast, please find us on social media, all the social medias, as well as in real life. Just like Waldo, you'll have to find us first. So whether you find us or not, we hope you make it another
great
day. We'll see you tomorrow.
What is something that your dad alone, something kind of funny that your dad did this thing? Is there a certain saying or I have one if you want me to go first, but I was reminded of this earlier. You want me to go?
Yes, please.
So for some reason, my dad, well, not some reason, it was a very clear reason, but he would make a little tune. He would sing this small tune of the Twilight Zone. He would go do 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 do. Anytime something vaguely mysterious or even not mysterious, like I don't know, at dinner, like while someone was looking away, he would move a cup and be like do 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 do. Or, you know, like what's going on? The cup moved. Anyway, like I don't think he ever did that exact thing, but it was similar to that. But he would always do that, and he even does it to this day. Like 30 years later, he's still doing at vaguely mysterious things. So is there anything great like that your dad, not to put you on the dad spot, but
no,
funny thing.
You know, Dad was really good. And Dad, if you're listening to this, I hope you enjoy this segment because Dad would often tell us things and when we'd ask him why. And as all parents can be, they can be beaten down by this to the point of just saying, because I said so. And as a parent, now I understand why that that actually is being used. But no, my dad would tell us something, and not like because I was like, why, Dad? Why? He'd say, you know, son, you got to do this, this, and this. I'm like, okay. He goes, Code of the West. Everything was Code of the West with Dad.
What does that mean?
This, Dad, you got to do it. It's the Code of the West. You know, no, don't question it.
Oh, he's like, why do I have to do this, Dad? It's like, well, here, this reason, Code of the West.
Yeah, basically. Or like, here's some advice, Code of the West. You know, yeah. So kind of like that scene in Arrested Development where the guy's like, and that's why you always leave a note. Like instead of you always leave a note, it's like Code of the West, man. You just got to do it.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Do we know? Do you know?
Probably from some awesome Western show.
Well,
guarantee it. My dad's a super creative guy, though. So
if there is an Aaron dad out there in the world, the singular one person who would know this because it was only his dad, who might know this, he should. Maybe someone could get him to respond and or ask him and then respond for him where this came from.
The end.